right, so a headline on yahoo.com during the US elections read, TV news anchors have an important message to deliver on election night. Their clothing should not be a distraction. So we wanted to find out how important image is overall. We called in Naomi Garrick, personal branding coach and trainer and the CEO of Garrick Communications Limited, to weigh in on the topic. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday.
It is. Thank God. Praise Jesus.
Good to see you.
Image. When we talk about image, what are we talking about exactly?
So, Simone, a lot of people, when you think about image, think that means I must dress up, I must wear expensive clothes. And sometimes it really is just about showing up with your best self. So how are we presenting ourselves to the world so that people take us seriously, as we heard in the article, so that we're not distracting from the message?
So it's your best self and your appropriate self.
Appropriate self, most authentic self, but also sticking to the dress codes and whatever your corporate dress code culture is at your office.
I was just going to jump in on that because you said at the top that it's not about dressing up in expensive clothes.
Right.
I understand that, but you still have to kind of put yourself together, don't you?
You still want to look clean.
Yeah.
You want to look like you made an effort to show up this morning.
So where's the balance there? We're not talking about expense here, but where is the balance of, okay, in other words, I think she looks great and she has jeans.
But also today's Feel Good Friday. Yeah. So today you're more dressed down than how you normally are on Smile Jamaica because of the theme of the day. It's Fridays, it's the last day of the work week. But just like this is not what Simone would typically wear on Sim Soul sessions either, because there's a look and there's a feel that represents what she's going to be talking about and the type of guests that she has on the show. Yeah. But it's the same thing with work. Friday's a little bit more dressed down, and it's becoming a little bit more even dressed down because of the new normal we're in post-COVID. But we still have dress codes. Absolutely.
Let's talk about that post-COVID period.
Yeah.
What period are we in now?
So
we've relaxed a bit.
They call it the new normal, right? So it's dressing for the new normal, but it still varies depending on your office. There was a time where you couldn't wear capri pants, and still in certain offices you can't wear a capri pants. But now on a Friday you can wear a polo shirt, or you can wear a button-down shirt. Maybe you can cuff your sleeves. And for men and women, sometimes sneakers is appropriate.
Yeah.
So
even
it depends.
Ripped jeans, some offices. Well,
ripped jeans is a stretch,
culture.
right? But it depends on the culture. Right. But there was a time where that's just unheard. I remember my father hated ripped jeans. He just thought, why would you wear? I have a lot, by the way, but he would say, why would someone want to wear something that looks like they're poor? That's what his thought process was with ripped jeans.
I was telling Simone this story that when we started dressing down on this show, I wore ripped jeans, and someone wrote in the newspaper that I looked dirty.
Yes.
No, seriously, that's the word they use. That
and I had to be like, Dad, it's called distressed. It's a style now.
Yeah, not ripped,
it's distressed jeans.
Anyway, Naomi, and I don't want to stereotype people here, but well, let's use me. How do I know I'm getting this right? I mean, I don't know nothing about fashion. I don't read Vogue and all kind of stuff. How do I know that I'm invited to a little party? Simone invite me. How I know I get it right?
You ask questions. So the minute you get that invitation and you see a dress code, ask somebody if you're not sure. We have Google now. Yes. Google has varied responses, but you can ask people. And I'll tell you about an incident that happened to me years ago. 2017, I'm in PR, so I get invitations for these things, whether for myself or for my client. I thought I knew the dress codes, and we were doing the PR for the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, one of their black tie events. I wore a beautiful dress that was a little bit mid-calf, so it was like hair. And I remember Page 2 was there and they were taking their photos, and I got a call the next day from Mrs. McDonald White to ask me why I wasn't in black tie at a black tie event, even though this was, we were a sponsor, so I should know. And she explained to me at the time that black tie is always for women. It's super formal, so it's to the floor, right? We're not supposed to see ankles, we're not supposed to see legs at all. And I remember what she ended up doing was she did put my picture in the papers, but she cropped the image so that to others that weren't there, they would not have realized that I wasn't dressed in the black tie. Wow. And some maybe people might think that's not important, but it is, especially in the corporate setting. Yeah. You want to be taken.
What lounge suit look like? What casually elegant?
I didn't even know lounge suit was a thing until a couple years ago. Yeah. But you have to ask because it does impact your, especially for professionals, your executive presence. Because maybe I might not choose you to represent me and the company at an event because you don't know how to show up.
Propriety.
And we don't know what we don't know, right? Yeah. So we must ask people.
Novia does what she does, and I appreciate what she does. but I don't know if you got it wrong.
I did get it wrong because it's not. There are rules.
No, when I say that,
for the
because
dress codes.
I remember when we were talking about etiquette eating, and I said, I don't know if well, I certainly don't. I don't know if anybody go in a restaurant and goes and say, "Watch out, Naomi, take up the wrong fork."
You'd be surprised.
And it's
Especially at an event like that.
And it's the same way I feel. I mean, if you are dressed differently from every single person in the room, so if it's formal and I turn up like that, I can understand somebody say, wait, but I don't know if people walk up and say, oh, Naomi.
They sure do, because dress codes are dress codes. And so that's why they put them on an invitation, because there is a specific look and feel that's associated with the type of event and what it means. Because there's formal events, there is even something now that's called creative black tie, which means that you still wear the tuxedo, but you can now add statement socks or maybe a funky tie or something. But if it's black tie, it's black tie. There's even a white tie dress code. We don't really use that here, but that's like, you know, when we watch those British movies and they have like the tail coat and it has the two little things almost like the hummingbird.
You wear a top hat too.
And you wear a white bow tie.
Oh, I didn't know
right?
that.
So hold on, let me ask you a question now. How much does your personal style weigh into this image thing? So you can play within the guidelines and also adhere to the personal style?
Absolutely, because you don't want to look like everybody else. We all don't want to look the same, and we want to still be authentic to who we are and show our personal style. So like me, we spoke about not wearing pink today, but typically I'm in a pink suit or a pink jacket and everything is pink because that's a part of my brand. And for someone else, it might be a little bit too loud or a little bit too much, but that's me, and it shows my personality when I step out.
Well, Simo's talking because I still can't get the full suit and her sneakers. I see people.
Or the roll-up pants.
Yeah,
my son loves a suit and a sneakers, but that's that generation.
I have the
You get the roll-up pants
Yeah,
now,
no, but I still can't figure out the full suit.
But Neville, I've seen your attire change throughout the years as well.
Let's talk about it.
Hold on, a question.
Very stylish.
How does dress codes affect perception in the workplace? And you can give us any tips for navigating different dress codes?
So again, it goes back to what is the culture at your organization and what are the dress codes there. And going back to what Simone mentioned about this new normal coming out of COVID, some of us are still in that little COVID space where we don't remember how to show up for work. I remember at the start of the year, I went to a company where they asked me literally just to speak about that because people were coming from the Christmas holidays and still coming out of working online, which online you still have to show up. And they just were not looking like they were representing a company or even themselves. And it's little things. So as I said, it's not just about being fancy, it's about making sure if you have a beard, it's groomed. Making sure for the ladies, if you're wearing lashes, we wear a lot of lashes now, it's appropriate for the workplace. They're not falling off. It's about making sure that your shirt is ironed in the morning. There are no stains on it. There are no scuff marks on your shoes.
Oh, come on, Naomi.
It's little
people those
We
things.
do, absolutely, Simone. You would be surprised. Press your shirt. And it's so people think that dress code or dressing, showing up means you must be fabulous. And yes, if that's your style and your brand, look fabulous, but look clean. That's just basic things matter. And people judge you based on how you choose to show up or how you don't show up.
Judge you,
right?
promote you.
Absolutely. And we say, don't judge a book by its cover, but we do. We're human beings. And before we actually meet and greet and talk to you, we are already making assumptions just how you show up.
Yep. Your company does what?
My company, personal brand, well, I do quite a few things. So Garrick Communications is public relations, and we do that for brands, companies, and individuals. And basically, we help to get media exposure. But for personal branding and executive presence, I help professionals to really get clarity on their brand, understand what their unique value, and how do they communicate that.
Yeah, by the way, I have one more question. What are some small but effective ways that professionals can start strengthening their presence?
Okay, so I wrote down some just to make sure I didn't forget. So one is just important to look as if you tried. We have to dress, look as if you tried. Dress for the new normal. What it does is it signals that you're in total control. You want to look appropriate for the environment that you're in, but also representing who you are. And most importantly, your appearance should not distract from the message.
Mm-hmm. What is elegantly casual?
That's not a dress code. So a lot of people think like casually elegant and elegantly casual is a dress code. Someone has made up that dress code, but it's not a traditional
But if you see that, what I must wear?
I will call and ask somebody. So whoever put
So I'm
that
asking you
invitation.
now.
So for me, I would actually call the person that's putting on the event to find out what do you mean by casually elegant to make sure that I hate
Because there's
it.
no blanket.
Correct. So maybe for me, I'd wear maybe some kind of flowy mid-calf dress, but that might not be what the event planner had in mind when they meant
It doesn't mean
casually
suit.
elegant.
It doesn't
But if
mean
you Google
suit. It
casually
doesn't mean
elegant,
suit, though.
definitely not.
All right.
Suit is for formal.
Could mean blazer and a nice pair of
It could be a sports blazer. For men, it could be a sports blazer. It could be a button-down shirt, jeans, and you could wear your sneakers or you know.
Thanks for coming. I love you.
Thank you.
Personal branding coach and trainer and the Chief Executive Officer of Garrick Communications Limited, Naomi Garrick.
Coming up, a youth leadership and values conversation. That's on the other side of this break.